Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I thank War India for giving Powergrid this opportunity to present itself in front of this August gathering. My present over next 5 to 7 minutes will have a few sub-segments. I want to talk about Powergrid as a company, how Telecom is diversified from Powergrid, the customer base, major projects, and finally the solution for enterprises or the SMEs, how Powergrid can help in the quest for digitization. Powergrid, I'm sure some of you might know, is the central transmission utility which plans, designs, builds, operates the interstate transmission across India. It is a Navratna enterprise, listed company, and consistently being rated as excellent by Government of India. The existing business is obviously transmission, grid management, consulting in domestic as well as international business, and telecom, which I'll take in detail. There are a few new areas where we are focusing. One is desert power India, distribution, the wire business, smart grid or the smart city, green energy corridors, and energy efficiency. Powergrid is one of the fastest growing electric utility in the world. We have presently about 195 substations from where we transmit, help in the transmission of power. Of these 195, 75 are remotely managed through a project called NTMC, of which I'll speak in detail. Our registered office in New Delhi, and we have 9 regional or administrative headquarters. We are identified with a few certifications which show that our processes are well within the norms. Powergrid diversified into telecom because for the grid operations we needed to have the communication, and for that on the extra high voltage transmission lines we put optical fibers. The red line that you are seeing is the optical fiber on the EHV, extra high voltage lines. There is a steel strands, aluminium tube, and then the fiber in between that, which is highly reliable. As you can see that there are various advantages of being at top of EHV lines. And advantages, as you can see, the right of way is readily available, no forest clearance, etc. is required, is sturdy, stable infrastructure, free from vandalism, rodent menace, very high availability. Of last 4 years, availability, quarterly availability of our telecom backbone has been 99.95% and above. The rollout for this network is very fast, at least 4 to 5 times faster than the underground fiber. OPGW has longer life, and most of the installation as well as O&M part happens hotline, so means the power doesn't need to be stopped. It can happen without with the power going. Powergrid's telecom network is over its transmission network, obviously, and that's why this map. We have a National Telecom Control Center at New Delhi with the DR centers for carrier business in Bangalore and for enterprise business in Hyderabad. We have 4 regional headquarters. This is our telecom main control center in New Delhi. We also recently launched our MPLS services. So this is our MPLS network where we have core locations, 8 of them, edge locations, and some access locations. The point to be noted here is that every location is connected to at least 2 other locations, so there is no single point of failure anywhere. And that's why it makes it very resilient and suitable for this gathering, because we think that SME sector needs to be on an MPLS, a very secure MPLS network. Powergrid Telecom has 3 licenses under Department of Telecom. One is national long distance, through which we provide point-to-point bandwidth business as well as the MPLS services. We also have internet service provider category A license, through which we can provide internet services across India. We also have the infrastructure provider license. Our existing backbone network is about 33,000 kilometers, and we have another 33,000 expansion plans in next 12 to 18 months. We already have 350 points of present with our own fiber in 105 cities, and another 122 will be in next 12 months. We are serving customer at over 6,000 locations. and we also are in talks with various SCBs to utilize their optical fiber so that our reach can further increase. Various services that we provide, one is point-to-point bandwidth, where we provide capacities from 2 Mbps to multiple of 10 Gs, and there are multiple self-resilient backbone links. We provide internet services, very highly secure features. We provide the MPLS-based VPN, which is a 3-tier architecture with no single point of failure. We provide infrastructure services, and we also have interest in IT services, which might be of interest to you, where we can provide data center services, VoIP, video conferencing, managed services, Wi-Fi, and we can also provide smart cities. We use our towers for putting antennas of telecom service providers, and these are some of the photographs of them seen. We are also in the process of developing a territorial SAR grid. We already have connected Bangladesh and Bhutan, and are in the process of connecting Sri Lanka and Nepal shortly. These are some of the awards and accolades that we have received over the years. Telecom customer base, we have customers from across the segment. If we talk about telecom operators, their core backbone, one path runs on us. If you talk about international telecom players, they take huge bandwidth capacities from us. Public sector utilities, Indian government departments, state government departments, media houses, educational institutes, BFSI segment, and other players. Major projects, I would like to highlight 2 projects here. One is National Knowledge Network, under which Government of India gave the responsibility to 3 PSUs, BSNL, Realtel, and Powergrid, to connect more than 1,500 educational institutes and research institutes. Out of them, 1,300 are already connected, and Powergrid has connected more than 450 of them. Second is the National Transmission Asset Management Center, which is the Powergrid's in-house project, under which we are trying to unman most of our substations. We want to utilize the operational excellence and want to utilize our internal telecom capability to make sure that our assets are secure and they are reliable. This is the solution for NTMC, and it is, again, you can see that it is highly secure because of the requirement of it. Our power sector or the grid operations or the substations run because of the security and the resilience of this network. This is our NTMC NOC in Manesar. Another project is Enterprise Resource Planning of Powergrid, where we are connecting more than 350 pan-India locations. Now, the important point, how Powergrid can support SME or enterprise customers. We believe our MPLS network or MPLS services can support them using its 3-tier highly reliable and available network. We can provide various IT services, whichever is the requirement of SME segment. How we manage it, we have Powergrid's team, which is constantly in touch with enterprise customer team. We have our project manager who have back-end engineers and design teams who take care of various interactions. These are the SLA terms that we normally support. The uptimes and the average time to repair is less than 4 hours. These are the visibility, network visibility, how we can see on our tools. Now, if we talk about requirement of SME, if I gather it, SMEs need faster technology adoption because it will increase the efficiency and accuracy. It will increase the speed faster than the normal manual operations. It will improve internal communication, improve the customer services, and remote access will be easier. These are, I think, is the 5 main contribution which can happen if SMEs or enterprises are digitized. But there are a few barriers to this. First and the most important barrier is cost of hardware, software, connectivity, and IT services. Poor infrastructure, reach and availability, both of them. Because most of the SMEs are in areas which are not very well connected, are in those clusters. Third is security and privacy concerns. Till date, we have seen that SMEs or their network or their internal communication or internal processes are not exposed to the outer media. So if they are exposed to that through digitization, can we take care of the security concerns? And fourth is obviously the low awareness of the benefits of technology, which I'm sure is not the case here, because if you are present here, then you know that it is important. What is the solution? Powergrid has a few solutions for that. First is we can provide very competitive cost for the long-term orders. We have tie-ups with system integrators for the back-end IT supports for packaged solutions. And there are various CapEx and OpEx models of ownership of hardware, software and equipments available in the market if you want to digitize. Extended reach, we already are present in rural areas, tier 2, 3 and 4 cities, towns, industrial hubs, and we are expanding this reach through utilization of STU, State Transmission Utilities Network. Our IP MPLS services are on fiber and RF. They are highly available and reliable as I was shown in the network. And finally, the security and privacy. Powergrid has a unique distinction of having separate internet and MPLS backbone because we need it for our internal NTMC. NTMC cannot be exposed to the internet. So our internal network has to be very, very secure. And to make that secure, we have made sure that these two clusters are always separate. And I think that is very important if you have that concern of security or cyber threats. Your internal VPNs will not be on internet. Our NTMC, National Grid Operations, run on that network. NCIF is National Critical Information Infrastructure Forum. This is a forum which asks Powergrid, being a critical information infrastructure, to be compliant to those security guidelines, and we are compliant. And we are also in the process of getting ISO 27000 words certification for information or IT security, which will happen by the end of the year. And I think these four things can help you rest the concerns that I feel might be in your mind. I think that's it from my side. I'll get the power to connect. If you have any questions, then you can discuss with me after the presentation, or you can write to our team. Thank you.